How to make your life really good and really easy. I'm Brian Withers, empowerment coach, trainer, and author. Well, we're naturally born high vibration beings, of course, and our thinking mind develops as we grow up. And in the development stage, because the people around us, generally speaking, in humanity over the years have not known this knowledge of life, and so our influence on the children have been kind of a repeat of the influence that we got. And that's been happening for a very long time. And just before I go into this image, to sort of give you an idea what I'm talking about here, is this is what really has been happening to humanity. I'm going to explain this, but I just want you to see this is the ideal situation. I'm going to come back to this so we can see what has to happen for us to have our really good life and really easy. So in this image, you see your conscious mind, and there's some good feeling thoughts in there, and there's some thoughts that are not so good feeling, and it's different for everybody. As we grow up from our experiences, what we hear, what we see, there's really a mix of different faulty beliefs and different levels of momentum. It's really quite unique amongst all of us, really. And what it results in, you see, as you are thinking things about yourself, about life, different aspects of life, you're repetitively thinking those things. Now, when you think a thing repetitively, that's what gets stored in your subconscious mind as a belief. That's what a belief is. It's a thought that was accepted as true and thought so many times that it has its own momentum. And that's what's stored in your subconscious mind. So a belief is a thought with momentum. So it's an automatic thought, you could say, which is why we have knee-jerk reactions to things, because when we see something on planet Earth, which actually comes from our energy, our beliefs, then we think about it in the same way so quickly, that knee-jerk reaction, that we think the same thoughts, and then you can see the cycle that we just reinforce that belief, and then it's broadcasting to the law of attraction. You can see how you can get into a loop pretty easy, especially as a child, not knowing what's going on, and really the people around you didn't do it intentionally, but they gave you all that programming because that's what they were given, and they didn't know the difference. So you can see how mysterious and odd life can seem when it's manifesting in ways you don't really consciously want it to manifest. But in those growing up years, you put automatic thoughts into place, which are beliefs about yourself and about different things in life. So that's the thing that's broadcasting to the law of attraction dominantly. And you're getting a mix of, some vibrational reality stuff, some train wreck stuff. And again, for each person, it varies. From person to person, different mix of beliefs, different momentum with those beliefs. It's just a very unique thing amongst all of us. So this is what has happened, and so now we're here, grown up, and we're, for the first time, really in any significant way, we're learning about how this all works, what has really happened. And so what's really running your life is those faulty beliefs, because they're on autopilot. They're thoughts that are on autopilot, have momentum, constantly broadcasting. But you're observing them with your five senses, and you don't like them. But we haven't known what to do. There's things we don't like about life, but we really haven't known what to do to change it. And we've thought up many crafty things, as I talked about in a recent video, about going around the pipe, which is like going around. We don't know we're doing it, but we're trying to go around the faulty beliefs. And for a little while, if we give enough effort, or we find some conditional belief that takes our attention, we can kind of override. It's kind of an overriding effect that happens on our beliefs, but we can't keep it up. It doesn't last. It's not permanent. And it's nothing near what we came to live. It's not the flow. It's just a temporary conditional thing that we do to get more of the feel good. But, again, it's not really sustainable. And what happens is people find that their life slides back into, what it was before. And this happens a lot when we transition from our early years growing up into teenage years, when we get a feeling of, oh, we're free now. We've got a job, or we have our own money in some way, making our own choices. We feel like, oh, we can do anything in life. We're free now. We're free individuals to do what we want. And so there's a lot of override of the faulty beliefs because there's a lot of excitement. And I had this conversation with a person I was working in a coaching session with this week, where that exact thing had happened to them through their 20s, and then it sort of leveled out because they had a lot of the things and felt like, okay, life is good. But that excitement, that real on-the-edge excitement about what's coming and life being so good and all these things, it kind of leveled off. And so what happens is the faulty beliefs then take that opportunity and they become more dominant again. And then your life will turn back down to match the faulty beliefs. It was exactly what happened to that person. So, we were talking about what I'm going to talk about in the other slides here in this video. So I wanted to make it very clear, as I do in videos, just another way to show it, some different images here. But this is what has happened. So no matter what your life is, really all of us, without the knowledge of life, we're not living the creative process. We're not living in our full-out natural beliefs that allow everything to flow. So some people may have beliefs, just grown up with beliefs that are conditional around money. And so their conditional beliefs around money actually allow more than your conditional beliefs around money. So it's not that they're really doing anything different in terms of the creative process and being in alignment. It just happens so that they grew up with some influence that caused their faulty beliefs about unconditional money to be higher than yours. And we're talking about millions and billions and more dollars. It doesn't matter where the level is. Really, it's fair to say that all of humanity is working off faulty beliefs, conditional beliefs at some level. So, whatever you achieved, it's most likely to do with conditional faulty beliefs. So if you find that your life is not really changing, not in any permanent way, that you can't seem to get above a certain ceiling that you want to get above, that's exactly what's happening with conditional faulty beliefs. And it's only when you break that barrier by breaking through those faulty beliefs and releasing them and replacing them with natural beliefs that flow with the natural flow of abundance that the sky's the limit. There's no ceiling. It's just unlimited abundance. That's the life that we came to live. So this is a very, very important concept to understand, that this really where is humanity is really living. So we never really want to compare ourselves, look at anybody's life or what's happening, anything like that anyway, because we're all the creators of our reality. But of course, when you don't know how it works, that does happen a lot. And you look at what other people have and you think, oh, I'd like to have that. And really, that's all faulty lack thinking. And quite frankly, those people that you're looking at, they too are living with faulty beliefs. Their conditional ceiling is just a little different than yours. Plus, you may have a higher conditional belief in some other area of life that is flowing better for you versus their conditional area of life that's flowing better for them. So maybe you've got relationships, not so much resistance around relationships, and that part of your life is flowing really in a good way. That the conditional belief around that is higher, whereas money, it's lower. And the other person, it's lower with their ceiling, their conditional beliefs keep them lower in their experience with relationships, but higher in money. You see, but all in all, we just want to get away from all this conditional belief stuff. We want to get rid of trying to work around the pipe and try to make things happen and get our life to be where we want it to be. Because this diagram right here completely, with this very simple image, explains why humanity is living the way that it does. 100% explains the whole thing. So what we want to get away from is all of this. And the way that we do it, get back to this natural way where our mind is in always seeing how life is serving us. We're always feeling abundant. We're always feeling good about ourselves. And we know it because of the creative process once we have that knowledge. And then we start to think those thoughts all the time. And of course, we clean up our subconscious mind to be in agreement with all of that. The auto thoughts, then going to the law of attraction, are ones that support us in feeling abundant, feeling worthy, feeling everything is working out for us. And it's just our natural response to everything. And that's, we don't see anything as a problem or an issue or anything. We just understand contrast means more. Everything is serving us, everything. So this is our natural mindset. Our conscious and our subconscious mind are in alignment. That's what this image is depicting to you. There's no conditional beliefs. There's no ceiling. It's wide open. Whatever you want to be, do, or have, it's fully accessible, available to you, and it's going to flow into your life. And as you see, there's no rodeo ride or train wreck in this image. It's all vibrational reality in the yellow brick road. That's what we came for. To live that life. But faulty beliefs have trained us so much, you might even have a little bit of a pinch when I say what I just said, because it's like, can it be that easy? Can it be that good? Can it be that good to be that easy? That's part of what you're really deconstructing is the depth of those faulty beliefs that say life, there has to be a price to pay in life. There must be some pain with some gain. There must be a hard road to really get where you want to be. You must really have to pay that price somehow, some way. And you don't. You really don't. This is the way it's set up to be, to flow like this. And we have all the power within us to do it, starting today. Today, we can start to move towards this natural mindset of an aligned conscious mind and an aligned subconscious mind with all the beliefs that are in alignment with the way life works. And that energy is high vibration, will flow. The law of attraction will be connecting us with the path to everything we want. Our days will be full of joy, joyous expansion. I mean, I say it all the time. That's what we came for, joyous expansion. So how do we do that? So now we understand what has happened and how we're living and why we're living the way we live right here. It's that simple and clear to explain it, what's happening. And this is the way it's supposed to be, okay? So how do we go from this to this? Because that's what we want to do. That's what I'm all about, getting you to move from that to this. All right, so let's take a look. So we want to strengthen our mind. We want to exercise our mind. We want to choose. We want to be aware of what we're thinking about, because it's the thoughts. It's the thought energy that's literally the projector making the movie, making our life. Our life is the movie of our projected energy. And right now, as I explained over here, that projection is kind of wobbly. There's a lot of low vibration in it. And even the stuff that feels kind of good, most of that's conditional and limited. So that's what we're working with. And so how do we get around that? Well, if you remember what I said when we were growing up, we had those thoughts, those influences. It was kind of like a training in a way, because our mind was clear, but we just seen things around us. We heard it and we took it in and we repeated it and we accepted it. And so you could say it was like a kind of a training. We got trained into faulty beliefs. We get trained into low vibration thinking. We get trained in conditional thinking. So now we've got to retrain. That's what's going to make our life really good and really easy, to train back into our natural aligned mind. Okay? So how do we do that? Well, I could say it like this. When you are about to react, right? React means you're going to have that knee-jerk reaction, that automatic thing's going to happen where you're going to go into those negative feeling thoughts about whatever it is in life. And when you're about to do that, then you stop yourself and you respond. And that's the beginning of the change of your life, because that's the beginning of the shift in the momentum. In that moment, you didn't give any momentum to the faulty belief, to that negative feeling thought. You gave attention and momentum to the one that you want. Now, the first time, it's not going to change everything, because remember, momentum is something in motion. So you got to slow that motion down. So you just got to go into the practice of every time you're about to react, you're going to respond. And a different way to say that, when you feel resistance, you're going to find relief, right? So you're about to react. You started to feel the resistance and you don't want to go into it. You don't want to go into the reaction. You're going to stop it and you're going to find relief through a response. So you're going to train yourself to do that. Do that one thing. And I'll put this right here, right now. 7-day challenge. I challenge you for the next 7 days to write down everything you're reacting to and anything you're feeling resistance to. I challenge you to do that and get a list together, because that list, that's your road to freedom. That's the road back to your natural life. That's back to this mindset, this aligned mind of yours, conscious and subconscious mind. That is the road back when you have the awareness of where you're reacting and where you have resistance, because that's going to tell you about your faulty beliefs. And then you work on scripts, you work on stories, you work that will deconstruct and reconstruct those so that you have a concrete, really solid way. Because without that, you're going to continue to react. You know, you might have some awareness and say, I don't want to react, right? I don't want to go to resistance. But unless you have a very solid way, solid conversation to go to talk with yourself that takes you into a response and into relief, you are going to fall into the reaction. You are going to get into the resistance. So you got to train your mind. You're in mind training. So you see, when you have reaction and resistance, you close the door to receiving the things that you want, and you open the door to what you don't want. When you have a response and you feel relief, you open the door to what you do want. And that's our natural place to be, with a door open, flowing in high vibration energy. See, a door open, high vibration, door closed to what we want is low vibration. It's that kind of thing. And so low vibration is the rodeo ride through life, and high vibration energy is the yellow brick road ride through life. So just to really make this concrete for you about, you know, the reaction energy is low, resistance energy is low, it's low vibration stuff. It just blocks you from receiving everything you want, and it does create those conditional beliefs. It creates the ceiling. So the way to do this is we want to train our thinking, and the easy way to do that, the very easy way to do that, is just to catch yourself in the reaction. Now, that's why I talk about the daily emotion tracker. That's a tool that really will let you do this. You can actually use that through the day to note where you're having a reaction to things, right? So don't even try to work on solving that. Just take the 7 days to get a very concrete list about how much reactive energy that is in your day and how much resistance is in your day, just so you can have a look, and you'll see. Now, if you've been working on it, been listening to my videos, doing my books, you probably did a lot of work, and you may have soothed a lot of this stuff. And good if you've done that. That's excellent. That's what I like to see. That's what this is all about. But if you haven't been working on it, see, you're going to see a lot of this. You're still in this from what you grew up as a child. This is all still going on. So when you do the 7-day challenge, you're going to see just how much you got of it, right? And to change it is the first step, is awareness that you got it. So you want a really solid list, a very comprehensive, complete list to everything that you're reacting to and you have resistance to in your business life, in your relationships, in your finances, in your vocation, in friendships, in yourself, in absolutely everything of your day. You want to capture, where am I reacting? Where am I feeling the resistance? That's step one. You got to have that, because that's the place where you are, and you got to admit and acknowledge where you are. This is not about trying to pump yourself up and feel good and get to some high vibration thing so that your life can be how you want it to be. The high vibration comes when you release the resistance, because you naturally are a high vibration. You don't have to do anything to try to be high vibration. You just got to stop doing what pulls your vibration down. So this is the way to do it. This is the way that you start to change your life, right there. And so then once you have that list, then you can put yourself into another challenge, which is to set up deconstructions and reconstructions that bring you back into a story that you want, that allow you to respond to the situation, to show how it's a faulty belief that you have, that the thought, that negative feeling thought, is not accurate at all with who you are and why you came here and how life works and what you want. You see, once you point the spotlight on it to show it up for what it is, the nonsense that it is, that's really what the deconstruction is doing, is taking all of that energy out of it that you believed one time in your life, and it's like, hey, that's not even true. Why did I believe that? Well, I just didn't. I never really thought about it. I never knew to even think about it. But now I'm realizing that's the thing that's holding my life back. And so now I got that list, and so I'm going to set up new scripts so that I can respond. That I'm going to, when that situation happens with that person, I'm not going to react. I'm going to respond. When I look at my bank balance, I'm not going to react. I'm going to respond. I'm not going into any kind of resistance. When I am in traffic, I'm not going to react. When I see the price of things, I'm not going to react. When I see my business flowing in a certain way that I don't like, I'm not going to react. I'm going to respond, right? So I'm going to get the value out of it on how it's serving me. You see, we're completely changing our mindset, the way that we think, and it takes repetition to practice the response. But in order to do that repetitive response practice, you've got to set up the thing, that how you're going to deliver that response, how you're going to think in terms of responding. And you got to do that in the quiet of your mind when you're not upset or bothered by anything, and you're thinking clearly, and you know, okay, I don't want to have that reaction, because that reaction tells me that I'm thinking a thought that's out of alignment. What is that thought? And then you see that scenario in your mind. That's the way I've always been reacting. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to say these things. I'm going to think these things from now on when that happens, you see. And that's the process. And as you do that day after day, then what you do is you start to get back here, right? Your percentage of this starts to increase. More better feeling thoughts going through the day in general and on specific things. And then as that starts to happen, it starts to flow over into your subconscious mind. It starts to clean all those beliefs up. And that happens over time. And like I say, once you know how to do it and you got your scripts in place, right? You'll have to have all that in place. But within 30 to 90 days of having that solidly in place, that you can solidly respond to all those things you've been reacting to within 90 days, and you're consistent with the responses, you're going to see changes. Even if it's just flow changes, you're going to see changes. That kind of energy shift is going to come into the physical world in stage 5 of the 7 stages with flow. At the very least, you're going to see flow, but it's very likely you'll see stage 6 and even stage 7 manifestations. But you got to be solid in your practice, so that you're not, some days reacting, some days responding, some days reacting, some days still in resistance, carrying resistance, and then some days not. You see, that's okay. You're growing, and you're going to experience that as you clean this all up, and that's okay. But when I talk about 30 to 90 days, I'm not talking about being there. That's still in the cleanup zone, and you're not cleaned up. I'm talking about after you get things cleaned up, meaning that you have a response, that it's everything day after day. I'm responding. I'm not in resistance anymore. Or I feel it, and I'm out of it very quickly. It's not about never being in it. Mind mastery is about when it comes, that you can quickly get out of it. So once you're there within 30 to 90 days, see, you're going to have, your energy is going to be high all the time, and you're going to see some change for sure, as I describe in the 7 changes of manifestation change. So this is how you do it. This is how to make your life really good and really easy. And really good means it's flowing in all the satisfying ways that you want to, just very naturally. The natural flow of abundance. Not trying to stockpile money, not trying to behave in certain ways so people approve of you or like your videos, or give you subscriptions on your social media or whatever like that. You're not doing it for any of that kind of thing. You're just flowing. You just know what you want. You feel good about yourself. You feel good about life. You know how it all works. You're expressing yourself the way you want to. You're not tracking the numbers. You're not trying to get validation or any of that kind of thing. You just know that when you're flowing in high vibration energy about who you are and what you're expressing and all that kind of thing, that it's just flowing. Abundance will naturally flow because the contrast will make you ask, and then in your flow, this natural flow, it'll just flow into your life in some channel or another. Maybe through some of the work that you're doing, but not necessarily. There's no real connection to it. I mean, there's all kinds of channels, and when you're flowing in this high vibration energy, then it's going to find you one way or another. And again, it's not related to things that you do. It's just the joy. When you're feeling joy, if you're doing things that are joy, and maybe you call that your job, or it could be a hobby, or it could be volunteer work, it doesn't matter. Joy is the currency. It's going to flow to you. That joy is going to cause the door to be open for the flow of abundance in all kinds of ways, unlimited ways to come to you. So that's the life we came for. We want to live. We don't want to do any of that conditional stuff. We want to get completely out of this. This is where all my work is working with people, humanity, to get away from this. This is where we've been for a very, very, very long time. And we want to get back to our natural thing, which is this. And to get there, you want to do this. Okay? So there it is, the whole story. And now you know what to do. And now you can do it. Okay, so that's the video for today. Thanks for listening in. If you have any comments, leave them on the post. And enjoy your day.